Hey guys, RetroRicki here. And today what I wanted to show you, I've been wanting to do a video on this for a while. And I don't know why I haven't, because I've been using this product for a couple years now. What I wanted to show you was the Raspberry Pi. Now, this is the first version of the Pi that came out. And in this version, it has a regular SD slot. It has your GP pins here. It also has a HDMI out, one NIC slot, and two USBs, one audio, and one regular video component, I think that is, coming out of it. Also has a spot for your camera, and I can't remember what the other ribbon cable slot was for. I'm not too sure. And this was a good little first Pi that came out. I did a lot of projects with it. I did a Rectendo project where I made a little emulator like player, so you can play emulators and stuff on it. I've made, I forgot also the micro USB. That's what you would use to power the actual unit, because this unit here you actually would power through a USB. And XBMC was another thing I ran on it, which was a media center, so you could play movies, stuff like that. It ran very well. I think this is a 700 megahertz processor. It had 256 meg, I think, of memory on it, if I remember. It's been a while since I used this version. But it's very good. It's a very good, and it was under $30 at the time. So it was a credit card sized computer under $30. Really good buy. Really good buy. So then what happened was they decided to come out with a Raspberry Pi B Plus model. Now, this model is a 700 megahertz Broadcom processor with 512 mega RAM. It has a 40-pin GP pins, full HDMI, but the thing that made this different from the original was it actually came with 4 USBs. They got rid of the yellow component wire, and they just put a dual audio video port in there. And what that lets you do is, if you have a cable that has the yellow and the red and white coming out, looks like that, you could plug that in and you could go out to a TV set through that with the audio and the sound. Not the greatest quality, but it could be done. Also, you have the full HDMI port, and you have the port so you can power it, and it's just a regular USB to micro USB cable. Probably have tons of them laying around. What was nice about this board was they upped it to 512 meg memory. So it gave you more memory, same processor power, but more memory, which was pretty nice. Played emulators a lot better, handled the OS a lot better. So that was the B plus model. Then what happened was, I don't know the exact date that it came out. They released the Raspberry Pi 2. Now, what this did was it updated the processor to a quad core, But it also updated the memory to 1 gig. So now you have 1 gig of memory on the board. Your regular 40-pin GP slot. It also gave you a micro SD. I forgot to mention that on the other one. They changed it from regular, the regular SD card to micro SD, which was pretty nice. That has the same feature, micro SD. Cool thing is this actually has a quad core, lots more power. And the processor that they actually put in these, you can run a full range of OSs now. So you don't have to, like before, in order to use the OSs on these systems, they had to convert the kernel to run on them. This will run most, as far as I know, most of the kernels out of the box. And it also still has the 4 USBs. Same stuff as the B Plus, but just a higher processor and more memory, which runs emulators like amazing now. In fact, I'm going to actually, this is the board that I'm going to use to replace the dual core, because I have a MAME arcade machine, and that's using a dual core full-size motherboard in it right now. And I'm in the process, I'm going to rip all the guts out of that, and this is going to run it. This is what's going to run my new arcade cabinet. You know, which is going to be kind of weird, because I made it for, and it has tons of space in it, because I had to fulfill it with that big power supply, and a full-size range computer was in there. I'm going to take that out, and now this little thing right here is going to replace the system. I love the Raspberry Pis. If you're a technologist, that's what I'm calling myself now, a technologist. If you're a technologist and you do a lot of experiments and gadgets and robotics and you name it, programming, everything, this little board, this little computer can do it all. I mean, it's really amazing how a credit card size computer can do what you wanted to do. Now on this one here, they actually, I guess on the B Plus, they actually did it too. They finally named these ports, and one is for the camera, and then the other one is for if you have a display. There's a special display that they make just for the Raspberry Pi that you can plug into that, and then you can make a handheld out of it, whatever you want to do. Video player, your own iPod type product, music streamer, NAS, appliance, anything. You could do anything with these. It's amazing what this little $35 computer can do. So I recommend definitely getting one and trying it out and just play around with it. It's amazing. And every time they come out with one, I buy one. And as you can see, I have 3 versions. I've bought it since day one, since the first one came out. And I just, every time there's a new one, I add it to my collection and play around with it and invent stuff for it. So definitely, I definitely recommend to check it out and play around with it, and let me know if you guys already invented stuff with this product. Write down in the comments and let me know what you invented with it. So definitely buy one and try it out. Until then.